Hi.
Okay, we're live. We're here, Sip and Learn, Facebook Live. I think, we got the whole technology. If it doesn't work, oh well, it's going to be recorded. So, hey guys, I just want to welcome you to 4 o'clock today, May 7th. I'm happy to be here in our Sip and Learn San Diego. And like I said, our commitment was to, during this pandemic, to make sure that we educate people on what's going on in the market and how we can help people out, how we can help the consumers, agents, and anyone else out there, right? And I think information during this time is very, very helpful, and that's what we need, and we need the right information on it. So I'm excited today to have a great group that I work with, New Venture Escrow, and basically I have the CEO, Casey Leblanc. We also have Courtney Lewis, Vice President, and Tania Gonzalez with a Z as an account executive. How are you guys?
Doing really good.
Great.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, I'm
thank
excited.
you.
I'm sure all of you guys are a little hungover from the Cinco de Mayo Corona Festival, right? Thanks to the Corona, not the virus, but the
Mayo
actual beer.
Taco Tuesday.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny, that thing that says, hey, first time that Cinco de Mayo falls on a Taco Tuesday in a long time, and what ruins it? A Mexican
I know.
beer, you know?
I'm sure you had margaritas flowing over there. You never disappoint.
A little carne asada with Northgate, went over there, got some good carne asada, a little pollo asado. We were good with that, So I just want to, you can't let the festivities die because of it, right?
That's right. You still got to live.
Exactly. So you guys, it's I'm excited to have you guys. So what I want to do is basically talk a little bit about what you guys are doing. We all have to pivot, right? What's the key words? We've learned so many words we haven't used, right? Pivot, COVID-19, essential, all that stuff that we haven't really used in our careers, in our lives. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what I've done in the past with some of the people that I've hosted is, what did you guys do to pivot? What did you guys do to make changes, in your business? How did you act? So it's like, I want to see the top 3 things. And also, how are you reaching out? I saw some things where I want to talk to you guys about. We have a chef, teaching people that don't know how to cook like myself, how to cook, so some great ideas that we have to think out of the box and something like that. But tell us a little bit about you, each one of you, and your background. Casey, let's start with you.
Sure. So I can kind of start with a little bit about what we did originally. So I think when COVID hit, we went into an immediate, and even beforehand, once we went into isolation, we saw that coming for about a week to 2 weeks. So it wasn't a big surprise when that happened. I think it was surprising to some people. However, you go into a strategy of survival at that point. So you need to right size your P&L. All your cash becomes very, very critical. So you need to look at your cash position. You need to look at your debt. You need to look at all of your overhead, because you just don't know how you're going to continue to make money in the short term, right? So if we're all isolated, and at the time we didn't know how strict the isolation was going to be and whether or not we were going to be considered essential, and if we were, what business, how it was going to transact. So in the very, very beginning, you're trying to right side your cash position, trying to understand what your debt looks like and how you're going to manage that, getting in the very, very short term. As far as a company, what we were trying to do is educate, like at that point, try to get education out there. Like, we are closing escrow, we are in business, we are going to be doing business a certain way. So there's like a 2-week period after isolation hit to where we're educating real estate agents on how escrow is being done, what we're going to be doing differently over this time period, how we're reacting. We want to make sure we were very present in the market. And then what happened, we kind of transitioned that into, we wanted to lighten it up a little bit, right? So we wanted to start reaching out. The news and all of the media became very negative, and so people were just a little bit, you go through a little bit of a depression. I mean, whether it's personal or professional, a lot of it is just trying to live, and you're trying to earn and make money and trying to be there for people, but it's just different. Life has changed. And so once we got out of the 2-week period of telling people about escrow, then we wanted to make sure that we were there for people just as something light and different and had nothing to do with COVID. So you talked about the cooking class, stuff like that. I'll have the girls kind of detail how that all came about, but we just wanted to change out of like the business mode of it's all business all the time to something to allow people to just get away for a little bit, especially on the weekends. Like, I think you hear a lot of people just saying, we don't even know what day it is, right? Like we're 8 weeks into this. I mean, if you really, is it today, Thursday? Is it Friday? You know, we just, it goes to the point of like trying to find something to remember what the weekends used to feel like. And so I don't know if the girls want to jump in and just kind of go through how the cooking class started, but it was one of the ways that we just transitioned into doing something that was light. It was fun, and try to, it's another touch point for us to reach out just as a human being and say, hey, we want to be here for you to try to make this situation as good as it possibly can.
So quick question, Casey, on that situation when you found out about COVID-19, your government shut us down and everything else, you know, how did you overcome the fear of consumers, agents, and hey, money protected? Is my transaction, are we going to be able to sign? What did you guys do?
Yeah, it's a great question. So people handle these things differently. Every one of us, no matter what industry. For us, what we wanted to do is over communicate. So even though we didn't know and things were changing, sometimes it was changing on the hour. So there were certain counties that were going to be closed. Certain agents had restrictions from their broker that was different than other brokers. So it became all about communicating. And our business in escrow is all about communicating with all parties all the time. However, this has put a magnifying glass on that portion of our business. So, you know, we deployed fully remote. We were one of the first in California, whether it was a title or escrow company, to deploy. So our technology allowed us to get people in their homes so they were safe before we actually were even ordered to do so by the government. So we had people deployed, and it was really important for us as a company to communicate to our staff all of the updates, and then those updates get relayed downstream to the agent, the consumer. So agents, a lot of real estate agents were saying, look, I've got these deals that are in the pipeline. I need to make sure these close. This is money that I'm counting on. So we needed to make sure that we kept people abreast as to all the different things, the notaries, how that was going to be treated, inspections, and how all the agents were going to be handling those different things. And so a lot of what our job became was making sure that all parties were up to date as soon as and as quickly as we could get information out to them. And a lot of it was, and even me, I'm guilty of this. And in the beginning, I didn't know the answer to a lot of things. And so I was hesitant to put stuff out there because it just felt like things were changing so quickly. So as soon as I would say something, I would have to go back and then kind of correct it. Well, it just became more of like, look, I'd rather be wrong and at least be upfront and transparent, and then kind of go through like, here's how we arrived at this decision, or here's how we arrived at this thought process, and let people know kind of where we were at all the way throughout. And so that's kind of how we've managed both internally and externally, talking to our team of, we want to make sure we're on the forefront of this, making sure we're telling agents and consumers, here's how we're treating this, here's how we're seeing the industry, here's what's working. Let's work together for the common goal of closing transactions.
And you want to be proactive, not reactive. And I think that we've always had a vision, and the way that we have built Venture Escrow was with that. Like, thank God for Casey and the vision that he had going paperless and digital years before this had even happened. Who knew this was going to happen? But the fact of just thinking ahead and being ahead of the curve, and for us is really asking our business partners questions. You know, we walk down the entire transaction and ask our agents, you know, title, lenders, and see how we can better each part of the transaction from contract to close, even before and after. So a lot of it is just listening and seeing how we can now pivot that, you know, I won't use that word, and change it to be where we can still streamline and do escrow and keep all of our employees employed, and transactions being closed. And you know, it's been until you'll get into a lot of the things as, you know, from a sales perspective, things that we've had to change too. But I know you were say some things.
Yeah, I think also obviously our biggest priority was keeping everyone safe, and that was Casey's, you know, priority to get us to work from home. So, but then that obviously changed the way we were doing business as far as the sales team goes, because our job is to be social, to be out there, to meet agents, to help them with their business, to talk about what they're doing, to see how we can be, you know, value. And so that had to change as well. But again, it didn't have to change too much. It just changed from face-to-face meetings to Zoom meetings to webinars, which very quickly everyone was able to adapt and just and find different ways to provide value, whether it's, you know, talking about ways to do open houses virtually and all the different ways that they were able to continue to do business. But one of the biggest things that you guys mentioned is our cooking class. We decided that we were on Zoom meetings and webinars all week. And by the time that Friday rolls around, you're just like over a Zoom meeting and just over the word COVID and over just talking all that, about that and hearing the news. And it was all just negative. So we wanted to change that. Let's do something fun, something different, something exciting that people are looking forward to. Everyone's at home cooking for their kids. Everyone's doing, just like wearing a ton of different hats right now, being at home. So let's try to do something fun, whether it's for a family, whether it's for make it a date night for, you and your husband or boyfriend, girlfriend. And so we said, okay, let's bring in a chef where he can basically show us how to create several meals or several dishes and walk us all through the process. And so we were able to do that, brought a chef from Barbusa, and it was a great turnout. It was something really awesome that we were able to put together, and it created just something different and something exciting, something to look forward to after just being on Zoom calls all week and talking about COVID and talking about, what's going to happen. And I think that that's just been super positive and something that everyone's kind of been like trying to look forward to. And just having that date night Friday, or just, we're also used to being out and about and being social and being out on a Friday night, so being able to do that just brought a lot of light to all of this.
And brought people together.
Yeah, it's kind of like what they said, right?
Community.
The money that you're saving on gas is going to food, right? You might have to take a good meal.
Yeah, all in my stomach.
That's what I tell my wife, hey, we're saving a lot of money on gas. But I see the kids eating like, hey, what's for breakfast? 10 minutes later, what's for lunch? 10 minutes later, what's for dinner? Oh my God, man. It's kind of, Courtney, happy belated birthday.
Oh, thank you.
And then I just want to say that, and happy birthday via Zoom and everything else. You really lived the
This is new to me.
It's new, right? It's like
oh yeah.
She's embracing the technology.
I've had to adjust to technology. You have no clue. I need a fan right now. I'm like, my hands are clammy. I'm sweaty. It's uncomfortable. But I got to learn how to do.
Tania, quick question. You deal with a lot of the agents out there. So what are their biggest fears out there right now in the transactions?
So I think a lot of it is just the unknown that I'm hearing. Like, no one really knows where the market's going to go. No one knows what's going to happen. You keep hearing everyone bringing it back to 2008. And I think it's more just the uncertainty. And the clients are coming, the consumers coming to the agent asking them, what's going to happen? Where are we? Should I wait? Should I buy? Should I sell? And no one really has the answers. And I think that the fact that everyone is trying to have those answers for their clients, or having to answer the question, should I buy now? Well, it really just depends on each situation, right? Everyone has a specific and different situation. And I think for the agents that I've talked to, it's just been that, or at the very beginning, it was their pipeline dying out and not being able to prospect, right? And not being able to go out and do open houses. And that's usually where their business came from. Or, not being able to be out in social events. Those kinds of things were really affecting certain agents. And just not being able to do that. A lot of the new agents just not being able, they didn't have a book of business. They don't have anyone they can call and check on. So just, it was a lot of just that uncertainty that was scaring a lot of these agents.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me, hey, Luis, what do you think of this market? I call it 2008 and 9/11 on crack. Because it just hit quickly, so it's kind of, and Casey, on production wise, what do you see? Do you see, I'm a numbers guy. I think 33% of the business fell off in the first week, not business, escrows that fell out. What's the fallout rate out there in escrows that you're seeing? Are you seeing new escrows coming in, or is it just flat right now until we reopen America? What do you see?
Yeah, I think globally, if we look at it over a couple of different escrow companies that I'm involved with, I think that we've kind of hit a trough a couple of weeks ago, and now we're on the uptick. So it did drop. I think purchase business was down in the 30% area, and we kind of hit that flat line at that level when we compare it year over year, month over month. And then now we've seen the uptick. So I think people, again, have gone through different stages of this thing, and it's representative in how they're treating their real estate. So people were at home. They were taking advantage of some of the low rates. So they were contacting their mortgage lender, and so we were doing more refinance. Now we're starting to see the business shift, and people are getting more comfortable being outside. They feel more secure in doing some things, not all things, and certainly not business as normal. But that comfort level is now being represented in new contracts. And so we're seeing, we saw cancellations increase certainly over a 6-week period from middle of March to end of April, right around is about 18 or 19%, which honestly I would have expected it to be a little bit higher based upon the kind of the gravity of the situation, if you will. So still relative, again, Southern California real estate is still a really good buy, and California in general, if you get the right purchase and depend upon your personal situation, there's still a lot of opportunity out there. So that's kind of what we've seen. We saw the fear where for about 2 weeks, everything kind of froze up. And then we saw kind of hit a base level. And now we're over the last 2 weeks, the last 10 to 14 days, we've really started to see it pick back up.
Yeah, I've always been impressed with your vision, Casey. You've always been technology with your app and everything that you've developed and everything else, which is really good for now, right? Your technology has really now, I believe that's where we're going. I was at a webinar earlier with Mike Ferry, which you guys all know. And Mike Ferry said, he goes, whoever thought we'd be doing a Zoom like this, whoever thought we'd do virtual showings, listings, stuff like that.
I did.
Exactly.
When everybody laughed at me 10 years ago, it's interesting. And now, and even myself, I doubted myself even as recently as 6 months ago when I thought, well, people really want to get back into the experience of a transaction and really feel that celebration. And so I think that I've actually had to adjust some of my thinking based upon what's happened. And so now, again, some of the work that we have done over the last 10 years has put us in a position to where we can really double down on the technology component of it. So what we ultimately want is we want to give the consumer and the agent options, because we still think that there's going to be a market for people that want to celebrate these transactions and high five and hug when it's safe to do so. But we also think that this is going to, at least in the short to midterm, we think that it's going to impact a lot of people, and they're not going to want to come to an escrow office or a title office to do a signing. They're going to want to do everything as virtual as they possibly can for the safety and the health of their family. So we want to make sure that we provide all of those options, and then people get to experience the transaction however they see fit, whatever is best in their thing. And one of the things I think is really important is that what this has done, it's put a spotlight on technology, and it's put a spotlight on an agent and who their sphere is. So their team, right? So the people that are helping them close business, I think this has really highlighted the good, and it's accentuated the good and the bad. Just even for me, like as a CEO of a growing company, I've looked at all of the people in my sphere of vendors, and I'll tell you what, I am judging them, and I know that they're judging me too. And I'm okay with how we're performing. I'm comfortable with that, but I haven't been comfortable with some of the way that some of my vendors have performed. So I'm looking at who's treating me well and who's not. And so when we come out of this, I will shuffle the cards and I will shuffle the deck. And I believe that real estate agents will do the same. They're going to look at how we're treating this, let's call it 12-week period of hyper intense lockdown business. And I think that when we come out of this, there's going to be a lot of shuffling of the deck, and people are going to look at it and say, my person may or may not have been the exact right partner for what I just had to deal with. People are going to be open to new opportunities as far as making sure that they have the right people on their team. And maybe they can't do that today, but we know a month from now, 2 months from now, a year from now, those opportunities are going to be plentiful.
I completely agree with you, because right now what's happening is a major shift. Any industry, I don't care what industry, what real estate. I have a project in Vegas. I have a dentist. He was telling me the situations. For example, I'll give you an example. He was telling me he's one of our tenants in one of the projects we have over there. He was telling me, the cleaning teeth stuff, that machine, whatever. He's saying that they're thinking about, they're going to have to get away from that. Because
Right.
all the spit and all that stuff that's coming out. So he was telling me, he goes, Luis, I'm going to go from 150 clients to probably half of that a month. So how do I make it and all stuff? It's just a stress. And the people that don't make the change, the people that don't lead are the ones who really are going to have a hard time, And I think the leaders right now, like you guys, information, the right information, leadership, that's what people are looking for. People are scared. I don't care if you have $1 or you have $100 million. People are going, what's the answer? And you know what the answer is? I don't No. That's like literally, we don't know. It's an unforeseen, you know? But so Courtney, what about you? Tell me a little bit about three things that you did to make the changes yourself to keep growing your business and keep the company up front.
Well, I definitely had to make a huge change in the way that I did business. I've just, from being in sales for 17 years, I think this is prior to even Blackberries, or they were just coming out, and text messages. You know, there was no video marketing. Everything was face to face. She's laughing at me because this is, you know, this is new to me. This is what I had to learn. But so it was, you know, now I can learn how to be, you know, as a sales rep, you want to make sure that we're checking on all of our partners, all of our real estate agents, but we're also being sensitive to the situation, right? So of course we want to get new business. Of course we want to keep the money coming in. However, we need to understand that everybody's in different positions. So for one, I had to learn how to do Zoom. It is the first time that I jumped on there. And it, you know, I'm getting more comfortable. This is my second Facebook Live. I'm still not comfortable, but I'm working on it. But anyway, but we had to, you know, make sure that I was in front of every single person face to face and checked on them, you know, and if they had questions with how we were going to handle their escrows, but not even that, you know, there's a lot of personal things that we've had to talk about, or just very sensitive stuff that you just had to be open to and listen, and not just run it. So how can I prospect within this market? It's really just, how can we, you know, understand and listen to what the concerns are, get those questions answered, and make sure from the escrow standpoint, we're able to continue to close and do our part. But then also as a sales rep and business development, and that we're there to help connect the dots, bring in resources, bring in ideas. So I think a lot of it was obviously learning to do the technology. Like I said, an app is an app, but this face-to-face video, learning that. And I think I've become a better listener. I've learned, you know, that I have. And just also just making sure too, my sales team, like we are together every morning. We have a sales huddle. We collaborate, we talk about ideas, and also made sure to get videos out there because we couldn't be in front of everybody. So the first week we made sure to just put out videos that were explaining exactly how we were transitioning, or things that we were changing in order to cater to where we were at. So I think those were three, maybe four or five.
No, it's great. You know, I agree with you about the video. You know, it's funny because I've had Bomb for like 9 months. I really used it here and there. I'm using it. And I've clients in Mexico. You guys got to remember, I have 3 businesses: Vegas, here, and Mexico. Vegas is on hold. Mexico shut down right now, revamping, and this is my bread and butter, right, in San Diego. So in order to keep up with the Mexico clients and stuff like that, I've been doing this Bomb videos, explaining stuff. I had a group of investors that want to buy over here in the commercial side, that, you know, they want to bring a good amount of money. And I'm like, how am I going to do this? So I do it through Zoom and do it through Bomb and everything else. But people are impressed and they feel that face to face. As Mexicans, that's how we are. We like the face to face, right, Tania? It's really, we like to hey, kiss and how are you? You know, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do with that party.
I told you I was always Mexican.
Yeah, you're telling me not to hug people. I'm like going for the kiss on the cheek. It's difficult.
Now it's like, oh, you know, but like it's really, and they're fine. Like they said that, you know, with the Mexican president, he goes, he goes, the day he takes that out, man, we're not Mexican anymore. You know, there's jokes around about that. You know? That's where we grew up. You know, so Tania, what about you? What's your top 3 things that you've done in order to readjust to this changes?
I think for me, it's been doubling down on education. So definitely reading a lot more, getting out there and seeing what other agents are doing, just getting educated as much as I can with the market, with you know, what's going on, or different ways that agents can continue to do business. And that's been huge for me. So a lot of webinars, a lot of reading, a lot of books. And yeah, the videos, I always preach it to my agents, and I wasn't doing it. So it was about time that I actually got behind the camera. We had a million bloopers and about a couple of good ones. But you know, it's just getting comfortable with it, and everyone's out there trying it. So that has been an adjustment. But you know what? We're all going to come out stronger after this.
Mm-hmm. No, I
Luis,
totally.
one of the
And I
things
think
that
it's awesome too.
sorry, go ahead, Court.
Oh no, I was just saying, you know, and this is awesome with Tania, and one of the things she started doing and was the webinars, and it's just awesome to see agents all over San Diego County, out of San Diego County, joining in these masterminds and just helping each other. So from a community standpoint, it's just been really great to see everybody come together, try to transition together, and then those that were behind or, you know, not necessarily tech savvy, where everyone was there to help, you know, and there was always a way to webinars or, like you said, education. So I also wanted to point that out too.
Thank you. Yeah, we actually, right when this all happened, we decided, because everything was changing, and the changes were happening on weekends. So we were like, okay, let's bring everyone together. We've had clients from South Bay to Carlsbad to Temecula and even LA. So we said, why don't we bring everyone together and we can just have a mastermind and talk about what everyone's going through, how they're feeling, how they're adjusting. It's just really building community and getting everyone together, and they're all doing business with each other now. So it's really neat to see that. We kind of have had it every couple weeks. We'll jump on one, so that way it's not super repetitive every week. And it's really nice to see different people jump on, different agents bring their perspective, what they're experiencing. And you know, there's people actually being vulnerable and at the beginning just saying, you know, this is hard. Yeah. And it's okay that it's hard, and it's okay that we don't all have it figured out. And so it's just really nice to bring everyone together and collaborate. And that's been really special.
Casey, were you going to say something?
Well, I just think that coming out of this, you know, again, as we've gone through the different levels of how people have handled it, I think that we're now in a position to where most people understand kind of what we're dealing with. And I think that the mentality really does need to be about what the future looks like, specifically in our industry, but how much opportunity is truly around us, and to look at things not through the scope of how we've always looked at things, but if we come out of this with a fresh perspective. And it's what I've always said in escrow, is that we have to take a fresh look at this, because the way that business is transacted, it's broken. And I think there's other areas within the real estate transaction that can be taken a fresh look at, and all the way throughout, whether it's, you know, webinars, it's Zoom calls to be efficient with your time and not having to drive. I think that there's so many different levels to this. And as we come out of this, and as we look at it just today, literally today, is take a fresh look at how you're doing your business, no matter what part of the transaction or no matter what industry you're in, really. And not only just how you're doing your business, but think of it from a very, very open and fresh perspective, because whether it's partnerships or buying opportunities, there's so much opportunity around us. And I think that the mentality of looking at things very differently and being open and curious about all of that will separate yourself. And there's a lot of stuff that's happening right now. And I think that a lot of people should continue to have those conversations and brainstorm and whiteboard and think differently, and all of that stuff should be happening at a much more and higher pace, because I think a lot of the fear has subsided for the most part. Again, everybody goes through it differently, but some of that fear has subsided. Now we're looking at, okay, what is this? Where are the opportunities? What rocks can I, you know, uncover to where there's nuggets down there that I could be part of the growth and what the future looks like in this industry. So that's why I'm super excited about this. It's kind of been it was similar in 2008, where it shakes you so much to the core that you actually have to take a very good look in the mirror to figure out what it is that you're doing and how you're going to look 6 months from now. And so that's one of the things that I've taken the most away from this, is that I have to have a daily look in the mirror as far as how I'm transacting business, and how I need to continuously look at it, and how can we get better? What partnerships? How can we get our process better? How can I be better? How can I help make my team better? All of those different things, through tools, through mindset, through all the different things out there. So I think it's just one of the positives about this, as you know, as we look at it being 6 weeks, 7 weeks into this, coming out of it over the next 7 weeks, I think that there's a ton of opportunity.
And I think that's where it is, you know. It's like, for me, you know, I'm a numbers guy, like I've said it before. You know, like this morning when we were in the Mike Ferry webinar, he says, how many agents do you guys have? 24,000 in San Diego. He goes, I can bet you there's 2,000 working, if that. You know, opportunity for agents. The ones that are really, really going at it like, hey, nothing happened, or let's keep moving forward, they're really going to do well, because they're educated. Look how many forms we have now. I don't even know how many COVID forms we have now, typical California, the P, the this and that. And I'm like, I have Lauren helps me out every time. And what do we have? And she goes, she's the one telling me, because I'm keeping the motion going. The other thing that like you said, partnerships, the partnerships are very important. Like 2008, the people that stuck together, guess what? They grew together. And that's what's going to happen. I think there's a lot of changes that are coming in our industry, or any industry per se, that are going to say, hey, these are the real players, and these are the ones that, hey, it was good times, and I went in there, but didn't make it. Or some people seriously don't have the heart for it anymore. I was talking to somebody yesterday that he was like 60 years old. He goes, this is it. I'm done. He just goes, I don't have the energy for it, So I think it's something that we got to look at. And so it's funny, being educated it's awesome. So I was in a CBRE webinar, commercial globally, 2 days ago. And what I heard there, it gave me like, oh man, I felt good. I went running. I heard it while I was running, and I'm like, man, this is it. This is good. It's going to turn around. He gave 2 examples. He goes, Singapore is open already commercially. Shanghai is open commercially, so that means the country's open. These are the biggest factors that they're trying to figure out is how you get into an elevator, and be apart. But the interesting part is that over there, it's only 3 feet apart, not 6. So, so you start thinking, but the one that really got me excited is, of course, you're in Southern California, Disney in Shanghai is opening on Monday. It's going to be totally different. It's 50%, people going in there and all that stuff. But the cool part is what does it mean? Light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's one of those things. Courtney, I'm talking to people and they're like that. What do you see when we reopen America, we reopen San Diego, the restaurants, the businesses? What do you think we're going to see in the next couple months?
I mean, I definitely think it's going to be a gradual, as you know. It's going to take a while. There are going to be those that don't care, that will do your hugging. Don't worry, you'll get one. No, I'm just kidding. But I do believe that there is going to be some that, and we do have to be really sensitive to. Some people are not going to feel comfortable. They are going to want to stay home. They are going to have to get over that fear. So that we're going to still have a lot of that also. I believe as well that this is where we're going to see a lot of the good turn great. And so when we get out of this, we're going to have a lot of really strong players in our industry, which is good because they were able to overcome something like this, and take out, your buddy or who you were just talking to that just is done. So I believe the market's actually going to get strong. It's going to be good. And I'm not just saying that because I want to say it. I'm actually seeing the last couple of weeks how it's gotten better the more that everyone's been more comfortable. So will people be wearing masks at the airport? Yes. Are people going to stay distance within elevators? Absolutely. Things are definitely going to change in that regard. I think we're going to be a lot more socially distant, but still going out there and doing that. Hopefully I answered that question.
Oh, Tania,
Okay.
What do you see in the future being out there?
I feel the same way. I think that we're gonna have a little bit of both, and everyone is going to come back into real life and back to normal in a different way, and they're going to adjust. It's going to change the way we go back to our normal. Our normal is going to be different, and there's some people that are going to want to hold off a little bit, and they're still going to be a little weary, but then there's going to be the people that are going to just say, you know what, we're ready. Let's keep going and let's just get back to normal. And I think we're going to see a little bit of both, and it's just, you just have to be, like Courtney said, sensitive to how people are adjusting. Not everyone has the same feelings or is going to adapt back the same way you are. So it's just really understanding that and just being sensitive to that.
Yeah, what do they say? You want to be the sheep or you want to be the lion, right? I think this is where a lot of people, they're going to differentiate, I'm going to see what people tell me and what should I do or not. Or some people are going to say, hey, we're risk takers and You know, it's a crisis that we're living, and it hit us. You know, some of the things that I heard, and Casey, I'm sure you heard this too, is like, you know, our GDP for the second quarter is probably going to be negative 30%. Negative 30%. That's crazy. But we're going into a V recovery. That's what a lot of people are saying. It's basically we're going down quickly, but also we're going to go up, you know, quickly. You know, I heard the other day, you know, we're worried about unemployment, but 80% of unemployment, you know, is basically a lot of blue collar workers at restaurants, hotels, and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Which makes a difference on the economy factors. Another one that I've heard, I don't know if you guys heard this, that 30% of our uh, 30% of our um, 37% of American home ownership is owned free and clear. We have the average American has $175,000 in equity. So those are good numbers, you know, and I personally think that, you know, once we open up, the real estate opens up and everything else, people are going to go, okay, sell, buy. And we're laughing because we're saying a lot of people are not going to like their houses, right? After this, I don't want to stay in
They
this
all
house.
want pools.
Yeah,
They
like,
say that the highest searches right now are single family
Yeah.
with pools, right?
yeah, exactly. You know,
Or they're not going to like their families. I'm just kidding.
I'm working out of a garage. I'm like going, I'm sick of this place. I need a place that's my office because I've never worked out of home for 20 years. 20 years, I've never worked from home, even when I was single. You know, so it's like it's a total change for us. Casey, what do you see top 3 things coming up as you know, as the market opens up and everything else?
Oh, well, I think that 2008 was caused by real estate, and so I'm pretty bullish on real estate right now, to be honest with you. I think that real estate and the industry in general is going to be what gets us out of this mess and really starts to rev the economy up. So I'm doubling down on my position in escrow. So for example, I'm looking at, I actually was just on a call before this, and we've tasked a group and a team to look at all of our competitors in Southern California that are X amount of employees that are just not going to be able to keep up with the technology and compliance of what this is going to look like coming out of it. So it's going to be similar to agents. We're going to be similar to that, where the cream rises to the top, right? So we're thinking that the smaller players, meaning if you're less than 20 employees, you just can't generate enough revenue, which can't generate enough profits to be able to keep up with what the demands are going to be from a business and compliance standpoint. California is the most litigious state in the union by far. So I'll tell you who's really happy right now are the lawyers. They're sitting at home drafting generic boilerplate lawsuits that are gonna hit. It's gonna be a wave of stuff that comes out of this. But with that being said, we've got insurance and we're protected and we're doing all the right things. But the companies that are smaller, the agents that are smaller, this is going to be difficult. So while I think, and I'm bullish on the industry in general, I'm bearish on smaller players or people that are not set up properly to weather the storm. So that's really where I see a lot of opportunity, both on the real estate side and then specifically to us. I think there's a lot of really good opportunity that's going to come about with looking at people, new markets, new opportunities for us.
I agree with you on that because you know what? It's a lot of people are basically, I know a lot of people within the industry that are in small mom and pops. They're calling me because I'm in a Century 21 brand that we've survived and also, hey man, can you cleanse this PED form? Hey, what do you think of this form? You know, do we have to have it? Can we counter this? So that just tells you this mom and pops need that guidance, you know?
Right.
And I think that what's going to happen again, kind of like 2008, who survived, a lot of the big, you know, big names and stuff like that, people that were, you know, building their business and stuff like that. And I think we're heading that way too as well, you know, and it's funny because it's like, it's really, like you said, there's going to be so many changes. They're saying 50% of the restaurants are not going to make it, you know? And the crazy part is I'm in escrow with a restaurant right now. And I think it's going to go through. It's crazy. I mean, I'm like, you know, but it's where you boil it down to, what do you call it? You boil it down to, you know, the will, waking up in the morning, your mindset and everything else. Casey, what do you do in the mornings to have that mindset that you have? Because you're very motivational, you're very aggressive. You know, what do you want to know?
Oh, geez.
Well, thank you. Well, so a lot of people have this, I think it's a misnomer that your mindset it's your morning routine. I look at it that your mindset is part of your life. And so I think it needs to be worked on, not just in the morning, but 24/7, 365. So for me, I do spend a lot of time, like I write all everything down. It just helps me. It keeps me motivated and keeps me on point to attack the day. I'm a planner. I'm a scheduler. I'm a checklist off guy. I really do believe that energy is my currency, and I believe that it is super important for me to really pay attention to how I feel. So, like, I just think that, like, for people to work for me, I want them to feel my energy. I want them to, like, I want to lift people up. I want them to feel like I'm a positive influence on their life. So I need to make sure that that's not fake, that it has to be authentic. And so, like, literally getting sleep, eating, and what I put into my body, and exercise, and my relationships with my family, like the whole life has to be real and it has to be authentic, and I have to be self-aware. So all of those things, I think, equal up to having a ton of energy all the time. And it has to be positive energy. So that's really what I work on every single day. It's really important to me. And I think it's my competitive advantage over every other escrow owner. So I hope that our team feels that same thing, is that I want people, when they work for me, to be super passionate, super present, super aware, super energetic, super positive, because I think positivity breeds more positivity, and this world needs that, especially right now. So when people talk to me, I can be intense, and not every day is a perfect day, but I think the overwhelming majority is my energy and my positivity will win over good strategy, or working 15 hours a day. So that really is part of, like, what I truly believe in, and I really work on it.
That's awesome, because I think the girls have a great leader like you yourself. It's like, for example, David Romero is our owner, and he's a great leader. And he always says, he goes, like right now, hey man, the sales went down 40%. What do we tell our agents? We're not worried about that 40%. We're worried about the 60, right? The positive. Right. I'm worried about that one that's going to feed my family. I'm worried about that two that, we're going to move forward. So that's what it is. So what about you, Courtney? What are you keeping your mindset motivated?
You know what? I make my bed every morning, and it is so true. Like, that's how I start my day. And before I wouldn't, and I really do every morning. I have to set up the house, clean the house, like make it an environment where I'm want to work out of it and be proud of it. So, just organizing myself personally, so that way I can, still be strong and consistent professionally. So that's one of the things I definitely make sure to do every morning. Still trying to work out when I can. Did get the Peloton. So any Peloton friends, let me know, hit me up. So that's been good too. So just working out and doing my daily calls with my team and just getting in the right mindset. And reaching out to somebody, if you're having a bad day, don't worry about it. People are too. They're human. Call them, tell them. Don't keep it in. So you just got to make sure to continue to reach out to family and friends, which I actually do more of now than ever. So, but yeah, like Casey said, and I am trying to read more. Trying.
You're opening.
Trying.
No,
I'm getting there, but I listen to Casey. He's like, he's a book right there. So I get him. Every time we hear him talk, I get a full book.
We are really lucky. Jump on a call every morning with Casey, and he is very positive. He's always just, the energy is contagious. It really is. And so we're really lucky to have a leader like him. He's amazing. He's always, just always building stuff. No matter what the news is, there's always a positive side to it. It's always a glass half full, as long as we all work for it, right? So, we're blessed, and we're very lucky to have a leader like Casey, and we jump on a call with him in the morning. So that's one of the first things that, helps us get the day started. And we have a really awesome, solid team of escrow officers, of sales. So just being able to all communicate right now more than ever has really just, like, solidified the team as a whole. We are just a lot more in sync right now than ever. So I think that that's been really, really powerful for all of us.
Yeah.
And that's professionally and personally, overall. We you know, we're close family. We're a big close family. So that's been really awesome. And yeah, for me, same thing. Just going out for walks has been huge. Just anytime you want to just put the phone down for a little bit and go out for a walk, clear your head, and get back to it has been really important. Sometimes it's okay to take an hour in the middle of the day to just clear your head, go out for a run, go out for a walk, and come back and get back to it.
That's what I do is like basically, you know, I'm on the phone, I will take a walk instead, get out of the garage and
Yeah.
people see me and they go, there's a Mexican guy yelling on the phone again. You know, they're like, yeah. But Courtney, did you get that about making your bed from that speech from the what is it?
The Admiral.
Oh, that was, yes. No, I started doing that before, but I actually just saw that for the first time. So I guess I'm late to the party because that was unbelievable.
Incredible.
That guy.
Incredible.
One step ahead.
Yeah. Incredible speech. So I was like, all right, I guess I'm doing it right.
I showed it to
Yeah.
my 10-year-old. Showed it to my 10-year-old. Go make your bed, son. You know, I was like,
Yeah.
Ash, this is how you're gonna start your day, man. Because, but it's the mindset. You know, it's like but like Casey says, it's the mindset throughout the whole day. You know, what do you do?
Discipline.
You know, the only thing I'm worried about this whole quarantine is, you know what they say about a habit, right? After 90 days, it becomes a habit.
Right.
With this quarantine,
Yeah.
90 days.
So too much sipping, not enough learning?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're still sitting at home, it's not going to be good, man.
I think I might go back to flat shoes though after this. I'm good. Maybe no more heels. Forget it.
Yeah, I think I'm over suits. I really
Yeah.
am.
Yeah.
Suits.
Yeah, this has been nice. That part has been really nice. And I think we've gone to see people just them in their element, in their environment, just at home, and it's kind of nice.
It's raw. It's authentic. I like it. Yeah, totally.
We should keep it up.
Yeah.
You know,
This is awesome. I really, I don't want you to wrap without us appreciating you for doing stuff like
Yeah.
this. This is awesome. Getting together and talking and strategizing. I think you've always been out leading the pack, but I just think that we appreciate, first of all, we talked earlier and just wanted to appreciate you for having us on. I think it's an honor to be part of it, but just you in general, just keeping people informed and what's going on. So we appreciate you. Thanks, brother.
No, I appreciate you guys taking the time actually, you know, and educating us because there's so many sectors right now in our industry that are happening and people are saying, how are we doing this? How are we doing that? It's funny, if you talk to a lot of my neighbors, a lot of people, they feel bad from, oh man, your business is dead. No, actually, I'm busy, man. You know, it's what we have. That's the message we have to send out to people because people assume that, oh my gosh, it's a real estate crisis. It's not a real estate crisis. It's a health, it's a financial crisis that we're going through. And I agree with you, Casey, and I agree with a lot of people. Real estate is going to get out of it. The real estate is going to get this crisis, you know, moving forward globally. You know, I think we're going to be the leader. So that's why I'm excited. I always say this type of market's my kind of market. I love it. I'm excited. I got most, you know, a lot of you guys know me. I always get the difficult transactions. I close them. Well, I'm here. That's
Yeah.
Know. Oh man.
You get them close.
Say that again, right? But
I want to give a quick shout out
Yeah.
to Deshaun. He's over here on the chat.
yeah.
Say hi.
Yeah.
Hi, D.
He's mad you have this closed off. He wanted to talk with us.
What up, D?
Well, we have so we're doing it through YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and through our page. So we've been doing that. Like I said, a commitment. And actually, next week is kind of cool. I'm going to start doing it because a lot of people are asking me about Mexico. So I'm going to start doing Tuesdays at 4 o'clock, Sip and Learn for Mexico, because we have some projects out there that are really, and it's getting those people ready to buy in Mexico. This is what I tell people. Once the gates open and we have those people ready, even the people here in the U.S. in San Diego that are scared of moving forward, but if you got them ahead, as soon as they say, hey, the country's open and I feel comfortable, guess what? We're way ahead of it, you know? And that's what I'm going to do with Mexico. And then San Diego, Sip and Learn San Diego is going to be on Thursdays. And it's kind of cool. We're going to start this, but it was a little too late. But starting next week, I'm going to start, it's going to be sponsored by restaurants. So restaurants to help them open up the economy again and say, hey, if you join us, you get a code, and as soon as they open up, you get a free drink on us, which is kind of cool, you know? I want to help San Diego. I want to help the economy. I want to help everyone to move forward. These are tough times, something like that. Okay, last question for all of you. Top 3 things that you learned from COVID-19 personally, business-wise, or what are your top 3 things that you've taken, that you've learned from it? Casey.
I think one of the things that is going to sound like now because they said nice things about me, but I've been really proud of our team. They don't need me. I mean, I think we were all better together, but it's been awesome to see how great our team is and how great they perform. So that would be business-wise. I'm just super proud of the people. Personally, I think that it's been a wave of different things and how this whole 8-week period has treated me so far. And coming out of it, I think that I realized that, and it's kind of probably sound crazy, but I feel like I got a little bit lazy. And so this kick in the mouth has really been good for me. So I don't think I've ever felt so like energized in what the direction is and getting back in line with really wanting to be aggressive in our growth plan. So I think lazy is probably a lazy term for it, but it certainly felt like I have needed a good wake up. And this has been a really good wake up because when you get, when there's fear involved, it kind of forces you to react, that fight or flight type of mentality. And then third is just how much I miss my family. And they don't live in San Diego. And I think that how important family and your relationships have become. We're all social beings, and so any level of isolation hits us all differently. And so being away from family, friends, loved ones, the social environment has really accentuated the need to interact and my excitement to get back out and just the human connection part of it. So super excited to keep going with all of this and start to have them loosen up and get back out and live again.
Awesome. Courtney?
I definitely have to agree with Case on the work front of it. I just super proud of the team that we have that's family and how we've been able to get through all of this together and work together. It's really awesome to see, especially escrow officers that had to work remote and with their kids, at the house. It's like just how they've been able to juggle all of that is really, really amazing and awesome to see. That's just hard work being full-time mom and, now having to do schooling and full-time in escrow. It's just really awesome to see all the time and effort that everyone's put in. Certainly hasn't gotten lazy since we've been home. It's actually been more work. So I'm really grateful for my team and for all of that. I've just been trying to do new things. I think I just learned as personally that I was on a routine, but a lot of it was get up, work out, go work, come home, did a show. It was just very, very routine. And so it's been nice with my significant other that we've been able to find other things outside of working in the grind, like cooking, puzzles, walking, just things that you wouldn't normally do that I do now. So I'm really grateful of this time because I feel that it's bringing families and friends a lot closer. And also, I miss my family a lot, so I can't wait to see them. But thank God for technology that we are able to do this. And I'm super grateful for all of our partners. Like Luis, this is awesome that you've done this, and it's an honor to bring us on. And you've been loyal to us for a long time. So it's just being able to have awesome people in the industry that we're close with and family. So just making sure that I appreciate that more and reach out more and stay in front of everybody. And it doesn't even have to be business, just personal level. So again, that was probably 10 things.
And I'll just piggyback on that. I think it's been really important to just checking in, whether it's family, checking in with clients, checking in with other affiliates, just checking in. Don't even talk about escrow. Don't talk about real estate. Just check in with their mental state. Check in on just how are people doing? Do they really need anything genuinely? And that's been a reality check because I feel like we all go, and we're in the move. We live by our calendar all the time. So it's okay to slow down a little bit once in a while and just check in. And it's okay to also feel a little off and sometimes maybe not have it all figured out. It's okay. And it's just about communicating and talking to the people around you. And I think that this is going to help us all slow down a little bit also, even though we all want to run as soon as they open back everything, right? But it's also just remembering to slow down, because everything was, was going and everyone didn't have time for anything. Now everyone has time for everything. So just being able to appreciate everything that we have, because again, right now we all wish we can go sit at a restaurant. We all wish we could go sit at a bar, have a martini, right, Case? So just appreciate all the little things. Just I bought a bike, so I've been driving around San Diego. I've lived in San Diego for 16 years, and there's so many areas that I've never seen, that I've never appreciated, that so many people are like, wait, what? You've never been over that bridge and, close to Balboa Park? Nope, never. And just appreciating so much that just where we live has to offer. Just appreciation is huge, and what I've actually taken from all of this.
Yeah, I agree with you. My top three things is basically in my family. I'm enjoying them more than ever. I'm working all the time and everything like that. The kids, the growth, and everything else. Even though they drive me nuts sometimes, but it's like it's teaching online and all that stuff. The other thing too is that I appreciate, is basically, hey, you know what? We live in a great country, man. I'd rather be here than other country right now going through this thing. I think we have a great what do you call it, mindset, as Americans, and we're going to get through this, and the light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm excited, and like you said, appreciate the little things that we have, from housing, from a shower, from toilet, anything like that. If you look around the world and what's going on, and the third thing, that I appreciate is business relationships like these, reconnecting. When was the last time all three of us reconnected? We just go high five, hey, what's going on, and everything like that, right? Hey, we'll talk later. No, we don't. Well, no, we won't. So it's like, it's really, and I think this is what's going to build, our community, our industry, and also at the same time, I think that's what's going to move us forward. But I want to thank you guys for your time. You guys, 5 o'clock. I totally appreciate it. We're going to send you guys a copy of so you can share it if people want to hear, clients. And then next week, I'll be here 4 o'clock, Sip and Learn, San Diego, and I'm going to have some developers from Mexico and another person from here from the U.S. talking about the industry and real estate. Okay, guys?
Awesome. Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Drive safe, man. Appreciate it. Have a good one, guys.
See you guys.
Bye, guys.
Well,
Thank you.
understand.